Yes. Okay, I think I'm on live here. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Creative Redundancy back again, also known as CR. Now, this is a special impromptu, special live stream from CR here. I'm going to talk about social media, and there's some other things I want to discuss here. So I want to bring the fairness thing into this too. So, not sure how long I'll be on for, and things will probably change over time as things go on and all that stuff. There's in the house. Yes, the ACR special social media live stream. Yes, for anyone that's seen my post earlier, I'm pretty sure everybody, most people, know what's been going on. Even if you don't use the services, you might have heard from other people and stuff like that. So, as everyone's aware, yeah, both with Facebook and Instagram and the WhatsApp, although I don't use the WhatsApp. Yeah, things went down, right? Yeah, things went down. As everyone's aware, regardless of what actually caused it, you think, there's probably redundancies in place for these services so this stuff doesn't happen, right? I mean, I've been hearing stuff and stuff like that currently, as I speak here. I've been checking up on stuff like that. The service is slowly coming back. As far as I know, I've been checking it out. You are able to post over on Facebook right now. You are able to the instant messaging is working. Originally, only the instant messaging was working. Now you can post. You can do this voice video call stuff. Try this out. I posted something that says, so, oh. Then I replied to my own post that says, look, I can post. LOL. Alright. Still waiting to see something on the Instagram side, though. No one's replied to me, and I have not noticed a new post over on IG right now. So yeah, I decided I posted this video earlier in the day, just so to inform everyone, right? Regardless if you use it, the service or not. And one of the big things to remember about something like this is that, if you do use these services, right? Remember, just like, see, I related it into the gaming world because in the gaming world, the servers can go down in the gaming world for maintenance, whatever, right? So, having a way to check on that, you can go check on that. There's sites that can tell you if the whatever server's down, right? And that's how I was looking at it. I'm like, oh yeah, it is down. And seeing all these comments from other people around the world, around the country, and stuff like that. Yeah. So, regardless if it got per se, the H word, or some sort of what's that called? Denial of service, all that other stuff, right? Maybe there's some coincidences with something else that's going on. You might have read something about that, right? Let's remember, just like how in the real world, you have backup for your gear, you may want to consider backup for your social media too. In terms of, having a local copy of those pictures, for example, a local copy of getting a hold. I shouldn't say a local copy of getting a hold of someone, but another way to get a hold of people, just in case these services that you use to contact people, whoever, right, your other people, and stuff like that. So you have another way to get a hold of them, just in case something like this happens again. So, whatever it is, there's other social media out there, right? And, obviously something like email would be a way. and stuff like that. Because when I was checking into somewhere, I was like, yep, no one, no one was able to access anything. And it's slowly coming back, like I said. I know, I see you all. I appreciate you all coming through. I appreciate it. I see you. So I think that's the very important thing to remember here. The social media sites that we use to communicate, right? You need a backup for that too. You know, a way to get a hold of someone just in case these services are down and you cannot use their, per se, quote unquote, instant messaging or, stuff like that. I think that's a really important point, and I wanted to address this in a live stream. I kind of said about it in my post, my quick post. I just did it real quick. I wasn't even being trying to be fancy about anything. I just shot it in OBS and just uploaded it and stuff like that. Not even worrying about showing my face because it was the information that's more important. Yeah, I'm hearing you guys out. I'm hearing you guys out. See what you say backwards. Well, hi Trish, Matthew. Growing and chilling. Nice to see you all, right? So like I said, maybe not just have someone where you could just instant message and maybe email may be a good idea too. Yeah. And maybe a way to get a hold of them through a phone number if that's applicable for you, right? Or so you can send per se, quote unquote, a text message if you can't per se instant message them through the social media and stuff like that. Because anything like this, something like this could very well happen again. Very well happen again. Let's learn from this, right? I was just like reading some of these things, and people were saying, it's like, why am I not doing the classroom now if I can't have this? Right? Thinking this, people were posting on, I guess, YouTube, for example, right, and saying stuff like that. It came out on a live stream. I was busy during the day, and now I have a little bit more time, so I want to come in and just kind of address this, just in case no one knew about this, and stuff like that. And like I said, over on the Facebook side, currently, I've been able to post, instant message people, voice chat, and stuff like that. I have not received anything on my Instagram side of things right now, so I'm not quite sure if it's this, how much of it's coming back. Seems like it's coming back. I haven't seen anyone post over on IG right now. I'm still waiting for someone to reply to me over on Instagram. On the Facebook side, it seems like it's coming back and stuff like that. So if you do use the service, it is, as far as I know, it is coming back. So, and apparently everyone's on. So this stream is not gonna be that long for me. I don't know anyone uses these services, but this could be any other social media service. If that server goes down, do you have another way to get a hold of someone? Like quote unquote, a hard. It's just like having, you can have PDFs, right? Portable document formats, read documents on your phone and stuff like that. But do you have the hard copies of those in a book form? Like in a book. Let me get something like here. Let me just bring my thing right here. See. This would be a hard copy book, right? Yes, I do have a hard copy. Maybe you have this on, let's say, PDF, Kindle, something like that, e-reader, right? But you have the hard copy, just in case you can't access it electronically. I'm saying it like that, have that backup, right? Source somewhere another way to get a hold of people. Because, I think it's important. I think that is the main thing I want to address, say in this live stream, right? Because obviously, we all know what CR means, right? So, backup source, a redundancy source of it. So, you have another way of getting hold of people and stuff like that. You see everyone in. Just reading the side chat real quick. And like I said, it's prepared for this kind of stuff. Just in case, right? Just in case. Learn from history, I guess, too, right? And to learn from today, too, right? Just in case. I think this is why I decided to use the blue, purple thing. CR this time. So over on the channel right now, I posted something a couple hours ago. So if you want to swing on over there and leave like a more permanent comment, I can read it and stuff like that. This stream will probably, I don't know. We'll see if I'll enlist it. I don't know. I pinned some new comments over on that video that I posted earlier, so get the information out there and stuff like that. Because, like I said, some people didn't even know. One of my buddies called me. They're not really techie and stuff like that. They're like, "Hey, Sir, I can't access my Facebook," and I told them, I'm like, "Yeah, no one else can either. Instagram's down too, right?" So they knew, right? So some people that are not so as technical or techie, is it just me? Is it just me, Sir? No. Unfortunately, it's not. Unfortunately, right? Because when I was checking this morning, yes, because it started this morning. Let's see, around noon Eastern, give or take. I was just checking with everyone else, right? Seeing if people are able to access the service, right? Some people were like, "Well, I can access it." Then I'm like, "Well, can you send a message out, right? Can you actually get the line of communication, from point A to B and back to A again?" And they're like, "No." So they thought it was per se working until I said that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're right, Sarah. Yeah, I can't actually per se get my message from point A to point B and back to point A again, because the communication has to go all around. If it doesn't go around, then it's cut off, right?" Hey Val. Yeah, exactly. Backwards well, yeah, it's just like, how do I say? Having they say to have a local copy, a hard copy, maybe an online cloud copy, and a local copy of data, for example, like external hard drive, some sort of USB type of flash drive, stuff like this. I'm just trying to pull a few things out here. Memory card, something like that. I guess even, what's it called? Optical storage, like CDs, DVDs, Blu-ray, if you got something like that. So you have multiple redundant sources of the same kind of data, just in case you can't access it specifically on this or this or that. And if something happens to one source, you still have a backup source of it, right? Because that's important, right? Because no one likes to lose data or anything like that. Higley. Just seeing what everyone says in here. Yeah. So, like I said, don't just, how do I say, store all your photos online, for example, right? But maybe actually have a, per se, quote unquote, hard copy of it, a physical copy of it. another digital copy of it on a flash drive, USB device, secure digital SD card, memory card, and stuff like that, just in case, or external hard drive, right? Something like that. Some of the stuff. Most of us that do a lot of content creating and stuff like that, been around computers and stuff for a while. You tend to have this kind of backup source, stuff like that. Maybe maybe remember to update it, right, with the newest, per se, quote unquote, data that you have. If the pictures are really that important, maybe print it out, right? Have a physical copy of it, just in case, just in case. Okay, just reading what the chat's saying. I'm assuming I'm coming in loud and clear because no one's saying anything about not being able to hear CR here. I actually had to turn on some lights just because it's starting to get dark here. So I do appreciate you guys all coming in. Appreciate it. Let's learn from what happened today. Like I said, have a back source for some of that important data that you have, right? Excuse me. So for people that do content creating, well, I guess all of us, my side chat, moderators, and all that stuff, we all do content creating, right? Yeah, okay. So maybe those, how do I say, important kind of document. You do intros, right? You have that nice intro and stuff like that. Maybe consider having a backup copy of it, just in case. Because things can happen, right? It can get for example, you could lose your phone, crack your phone, crack your screen on your laptop, drop your laptop, get it wet, and stuff like that. And if that's the only source or spot you have the data, you might lose it. We're having it on some sort of like USB drive, hard drive, optical disc, CD, DVD, Blu-ray, or something like that. May be beneficial, so you have a backup source of it, just in case. It's really so you don't have to remake the content again, right? You don't have to, how do I say, download more lower quality of it. You can have multiple sources of that high quality video, high quality image, and stuff like that. Especially with something like pictures, you can print them out and stuff like that. Go to some place or whatever and bring in your digital files, and you can print out a 4x6, 5x7, or sheet size if you want to. Especially if the pictures are important, one of a kind, very, very special to you, and stuff like that. Because even for me, I've learned this lesson many, many times. Sometimes I'm just like, a hard drive fails. I'm like, oh, thank goodness I decided to put it back up some of that data on a secure digital SD card, memory card. Or let's say your memory card corrupts, your hard drive corrupts, something like that. Other things happen. You're like, oh, thank goodness I have a backup source of that data. I don't have to recreate it again. And depending on what it is, some pictures or whatever may be, per se, quote unquote, irreplaceable because they're one of a kind, right? You only have one copy of them, per se. It would only happen once, right? Pictures of family and stuff like that, right? Where you consider a printable copy. And like I said, you can go to places and get that kind of stuff, per se, developed. Get a 4x6, 5x7, 8x10, or something like that. I remember I made a picture or whatever. I had a picture and I went to some place to go to get it developed. I think I got the 5x7 for a couple bucks, right? So not only do I still have the picture, I have it spread out. So an online cloud copy, a local copy, like I said, hard drive, external hard drive, maybe on another computer, stuff like that. Even offsite backup, like trusting it to like your friend, significant other, friend's computer, right? You know, trust them enough to be like, hey, yeah, hey Siri, can you got room on your laptop, right? Yeah, yeah. Can I give you a backup copy of my whatever document? You know, it's important to me. I don't want to lose it, and I'm just making sure I have backup copies of it. It's so important and stuff like that. You know, I know you can access the cloud and stuff like that, but you might not have online access to access that. So but you might have a local copy of it, or someone has a copy of that data. You know, quote unquote picture, video, or something like that, and be like, hey, you know, I can't get online. Sarah, you still have that video? Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, I can't get online. You know, they call you up. I can't get online, and you know, for some reason, my hard drive's corrupted. I can't access it. I can't boot into my operating system, all this stuff. But I still need it because I want to post something and use it. You know, use it with my other laptop that I have and stuff like that. Something like that, right? You'd be glad you did something like that. I hope this is making sense here, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because this is not so much the creative part of me, but the redundancy part of me, right? Backup, because I think it's important. Hey, second star, Jade. I'm hoping this makes sense. Yeah, yeah, okay. I'm hoping you guys are understanding this, because you know, learning about, I guess, digital technology like this, I learned this the hard way from time to time, right? It's just like, yeah, I should have backed up that data, right? You know, if that data, that information, whatever it is, right? Text document, maybe you wrote, you know, let's say a book or something like that, right? And you're typing it up and stuff like that. If you only have one copy, if you lose that copy, that's a lot of work to kind of redo again, right? So, you know, maybe you have like some big 100-page thing you wrote, you know, autobiography, for example, right? You know, I hear stuff like this, and it's just like, oh, you know, they only had one copy, something happened, it's just like they can't access it or something like that. I always feel like, oh, that's a shame. But it always reminds me, and it's like, maybe I should back up this intro onto like some SD card or memory card, USB device, flash drive, optical disc, CD, DVD, Blu-ray, or something like that, right? And I have a local copy of it. Off-site copy of it would be maybe like cloud storage, email, stuff like this. And not just per se, quote unquote, only on your social media, like obviously Facebook or Instagram, right? Maybe have another copy of it, especially if it's that important for you, because I've seen this time and time again, and it always reminds me, yeah, maybe I should back up this too, put it on an external hard drive, have a local copy of it that I can access. You know, if you per se trust someone, maybe give them a hard drive copy of it, especially someone close that you know you can trust, right? And, you know, just in case, you can encrypt it and stuff like that, password, you know, all that stuff. Hey, Lisa, appreciate you guys all coming by. Because I know all you guys, most of you guys and gals out there, you know, you guys are content creators, right? If you have access to this kind of, let's say, this kind of stuff, memory cards and stuff like that, some of that data, you may want to consider backing it up. if you haven't already, you know. Because nothing's worse than making this big intro and, you know, it's so good and all, and you only have one copy of it, and you just, something happens to the device, laptop, your phone, right? It could be as easy as, oh, I dropped the phone in the water and I fried it. Or, oh, my goodness, I backed up that intro, a nice high quality of it on, not only online, like cloud storage or whatever, right? It's original quality, but maybe a hard drive, some sort of memory card and stuff like that. So let me hear you guys out right now. So are you guys backing up your data? You know, do you have a redundant source to get a hold of someone online, providing you have online access, right? Somewhere else you can message people, email, something like that. Yes, exactly, backwards law. I know you would understand this, right? Because I try to remind people this from time to time, right? Because, you know, I hear this all the time, right? People lose data and stuff like that, you know. This is why I wanted to bring this side up, right? It's just having, you know, having all your pictures on, per se, quote unquote, Facebook or Instagram only. Well, if they're that important to you, or whatever, the data, you know, and you know, you feel bad if you couldn't access it or lost it, maybe, quote unquote, have a copy of it, just in case. Especially nowadays, I mean, like, this kind of, per se, stuff, these USB drive, thumb drives, memory cards, and like stuff like that, the capacity's getting bigger, right? I mean, like 16, 32, 64, 128 gigabytes, right? Something like a hard drive, you know, terabytes, like, yeah, easy, right? I know some of you do. I know some of you do, because some of you do mention it and stuff like that, having a backup source, right? And I like to hear that, because what I don't like to hear is people losing their data and it's, you know, really special, like one of a kind, or some sort of early birthday thing, a biography of something, some sort of text document that you wrote out that was like hundreds of pages, some autobiography, and you lost it, or the per se, quote unquote, the data got corrupt and you cannot open the file anymore, or something like that. Well, okay, thanks, backwards one. Do what you can, JH. Do what you can. Do what you can. Because I know some of you are not as tech savvy. I understand that. I understand that. I'm getting a little more techy about it, but I think it's important. And I remind people of this because, yeah, like I said, I've this of important stuff too. And let's, for example, oh, my nose is itchy, sorry. If you have an intro, you know, maybe it's something you made and something like that. Like I said, consider backing it up, especially if you made it, if you can. Like, you pretty much, you should be able to. On most devices, on a phone or on a laptop, be able to transfer it over and have a, per se, inline copy of it and stuff like that. Because I've seen, I mean, I even make, depending what I'm doing, like, for example, if I have this video file, yes, I made a save file of it. Okay, that's good. One thing I do is, depending on what I'm doing, how complex the video is, sometimes I'll make another inline copy of that, just in case. So if I go too far ahead, and I feel like, yeah, I need this, tone it back, something didn't go wrong, right, I can't figure out how to fix it, I can go back to a previous state of it, if that makes any sense. So sometimes I do that. I remember a long time ago I made this kind of video. It's not on the channel, that's a totally separate thing, but it was a very complex thing, and I made an inline copy of it, just in case. So just in case I saved over it and I screwed up, I'd be like, oh yeah, I have a previous copy of it from like 2 days ago and something like that. That way, I only have to go back 2 days ago instead of starting the whole thing from scratch because I either corrupted that save file, or I did something while in the editor and it's just like I can't figure out how to quote unquote undo it or fix it to make it better again. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's what the Wayback Machine, the system restorer and stuff like that. Yeah, I know I'm getting techie here, but I'm trying to encourage this, right? And like I said, I know I talked about the creative part a lot, but it's about time I talked about the redundancy part of the channel, right? Backup, right? Backup. So there's a reason why I have an R in here. See, I know people sometimes ask me that. It's like, what does the redundancy part mean? It basically means backup. Pretty much in a nutshell, it means backup, right? A second source, just in case, right? Because I see this way too often, from time and time again. I'm just like, oh, again, you know, I try not to say, per se, quote unquote, I told you so, but I try to remind people, if those family photos are not important, let's say wedding, something like that, grandparents and stuff like that, consider not only if it's a picture, having a hard copy, printing it out, right? You can go to places and get a, per se, quote unquote, a photo of it, a photo hard copy of it, for a couple bucks, depending on the size. If it's 4x6, all the way, well, poster size, obviously it's gonna be more expensive and bigger, but stuff like that, and maybe have a digital copy of it on like a memory card, a USB device that you can plug in, maybe even on an optical disc like a CD, DVD, Blu-ray, if you got access to something like that. I mean, a lot of people would be glad to help you. Some of your more techie friends, can explain this and stuff like that. Sorry, let me adjust this here. Sure. Let me bring my chair over. I should have sat up better. You're probably like, how come you can't see your space? Sorry. I'm trying to. I really need a new chair for this. Not whatever. But yeah. Hey Harvey, you know what? I think it's about time. Just because I know how good you are. Just because I know how good you are, Harvey. I appreciate it. That's why I know. I know you'll be awesome in blue. Alright. So I'm hoping this makes sense to everyone, right? Especially as, as content creators, people take more pictures and all that stuff, do more video and stuff like that, if it's important, something that's hard to reproduce and irreplaceable, maybe consider having a backup copy of it, backing up that data. And like I said, memory cards, USB thumb drives, hard drives, external hard drives, even discs are not per se that expensive, per se, right? You can easily, for pictures, like if you when you take pictures, for example, you probably could fit a lot of pictures on a 32, 64 gigabyte memory card. And not only that, I do want to mention, how many times have I heard the story? My phone's full, my memory card's full, my phone's full, I can't record more, right? Well, if you back it up, you per se, quote unquote, could free up some more space on your phone, on your device, and stuff like that, yet still have a copy of it. Something you can still access, per se, right? If not only a local copy of a physical copy of the photo, but a cloud storage of it if you want to do something like that. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, if you only have it in one spot, if you lose it, gets corrupt, you drop that phone in the water. Well, yeah. I guess in the survival community, there's that 2 is 1, 1 is none kind of thing, right? And I guess 3 is 2 and 4 is more. So, I mean, like, even for me, I have a digital copy of this, but I actually have a physical copy of this, just in case. The no electricity, I can still access a physical copy of a book, right? Something like that. Obviously, physical copies are gonna obviously take up more space and stuff like that. So, you gotta think about that. And there's some other things and stuff like that. There are benefits to digital copies, but I think I personally, in my opinion, rather have both. That way, I have the best of both. If I lose this, I still have a digital copy. If I lose the physical copy, I still let me say that again. If I lose the physical copy, I still have access to a digital copy. If I lose the digital copy or can't access the digital copy, I still have a physical or hard copy of it. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's nice to hear, JH. Okay. And do what you can, right? Do what you can. So I'm hoping this is making sense and people can understand this kind of stuff. I just want, especially what happened today reminded me, I'm like, yeah, right? Because for anyone that couldn't get on, per se, had to do stuff, had only way to get a hold of someone was through Facebook or Instagram for part of the day or the last, 6 hours, whatever it was, until we came back recently. You didn't have access to that. I mean, I would have felt bad for anyone that actually had to conduct business or something really important for that. To get a number, get a picture that's really important, is you wouldn't be able to access it. And that's the thing of having, redundant sources for that kind of stuff. Another way to get a hold of someone, where it'd be like our social media, more physical source, like a number, if you can, right? Maybe I guess mail would be kind of slow. Snail mail would have been kind of slow, but if it went longer, stuff like that. Yeah, see, Backwards Vlog knows what I'm talking. See, I know Backwards Vlog knows what I'm talking about. Because he's like, yeah, he's LOLing with me. So, anyways, guys, I just wanted to address this because I think I've been going for a little bit longer than I probably would have liked here. Have I? Yeah, 30 minutes here. So does anyone have any questions or anything you want to say about, quote unquote, stuff like this? I know Backwards Vlog kind of knows what I'm talking about and stuff like that. Because, like I said, people in the survival community, preparedness community generally have like a backup source. I like, oh, I got a backup knife, I got a backup tool, I got a ferrocerium rod to back up my lighter, right? Well, consider that for your digital stuff too. Because, I'm not saying it's not as important or less important or more important, but it could be still important, right? Family pictures, stuff like that. Maybe that's that sweet intro that someone made for you, because I'd be saddened to hear something like that happen, especially with, like I said, with memory cards, this kind of digital devices and stuff like that being relatively cheap, relatively, more accessible and stuff like that. Especially the capacity is much higher than it was a long time ago, And we're no longer in this 1/2 gig. We're in like 16, 32, 64, 128 terabyte and all this other stuff. Because I think it's important, especially as we go on and on with stuff. So I appreciate everyone that came by on that for that video that I posted up earlier. And like I said, most of the stuff is coming back. I haven't seen anyone message me on Instagram. I'm just seeing it service. I think this, sure looks like it. Yeah, people are starting to post. I'm seeing people post on Instagrams. Looks like the services are coming back, right? But this should be, per se, a wake-up call to remind it. Well, pretty much I wanted to remind everyone, back up your data. Have physical copies when you can. Have a local copy of it, which means memory cards, external hard drives. Maybe an inline copy of it, if it's not important. Especially if you're working with like save files and stuff like that, editing, whether it be video, picture, or audio editing and stuff like that. Maybe a backup copy of that 100-page autobiography, for example. And maybe off-site backup or cloud storage, stuff like that. Because nothing's worse than it's like, oh, I gotta do this again. I should have backed it up. Yeah, been there, done that. It's not, yeah. So thank you everyone here for dropping by. I appreciate it. And remember everyone, apparently I'm getting messaged now. Apparently everyone's messaging me. So yeah. Backwards about, you're right. Depends what you need and how crucial it is, right? You have to make your own decision about it, right? Use your own best judgment. But if you worked hard at it, and if it's, per se, quote unquote, really important, maybe consider having a backup copy of it. If you can, have a, per se, quote unquote, hard copy of it. If you can. Videos may be a little bit harder, but pictures, text documents, you can print that kind of stuff out. Yeah. Yes. So remember everyone, you all can create a better future starting today. And like always, as our world changes, we can adapt too. Skill and knowledge get better with practice. Can't help everyone out there, but one can help someone out there. Until the next video / live stream for me. Where is it here? Oh yeah. Take care everyone. It's peace out from the one known as CR.